In a shocking turn of events that has sent political shockwaves across South Africa, economic freedom fighters, EFF, leader Julius Malema is reportedly facing complete financial collapse following a damning corruption verdict handed down by the Pretoria High Court. Once known as one of the most defiant and outspoken figures in post-apartheid politics, Malema's empire of influence built on fiery rhetoric, revolutionary appeal, and a carefully crafted image of defiance now stands on the brink of disintegration. The court ruling, delivered after months of legal proceedings, found Malema guilty of multiple counts of corruption and money laundering linked to questionable tenders awarded during his time as the head of the ANC Youth League and his subsequent political rise. The verdict not only tarnishes his political credibility but also exposes a web of financial dealings that prosecutors claim were designed to personally enrich the EFF leader under the guise of economic liberation. According to sources close to the investigation, the judgment paves the way for the state to freeze all known assets connected to Malema, including luxury vehicles, high-value properties, and bank accounts both in South Africa and abroad. Several of his alleged business partners are now also under scrutiny, with authorities reportedly preparing further charges related to illicit financial flows and tax evasion. The ripple effects were immediate. Within hours of the ruling, social media erupted in disbelief, with hashtags like #MalemaVerdict and #EFF under fire dominating trends across the nation. Supporters of the EFF gathered outside the courthouse in Pretoria, chanting revolutionary slogans and claiming the verdict was politically motivated. "They are trying to silence our leader because he speaks truth to power," one supporter told local media, waving a red beret in defiance. Yet, inside the corridors of government and business, the mood was far less sympathetic. Analysts say the verdict could mark a defining moment in South Africa's ongoing struggle with political accountability. For years, Malema positioned himself as the champion of the poor, the enemy of corruption, said political analyst Lucano Ndlovu. But this ruling flips that image completely. It shows the public that even those who cry revolution are not immune to the very sins they denounce. Financial experts estimate that Malema could face personal losses exceeding R50 million once restitution orders and legal costs are finalized. Insiders close to the EFF leader describe him as visibly shaken yet determined to fight back. In a brief statement outside the court, Malema maintained his innocence, vowing to appeal the decision. "This is not justice, it's a political hit job. They want to break me, but they will never silence the revolution," he declared, his voice echoing through a crowd of cheering supporters. However, the damage may already be done. Several of the EFF's key funders and donors are rumored to be distancing themselves from the embattled leader, fearing reputational fallout. The South African Revenue Service, SARS, has reportedly reopened all tax files linked to Malema's personal and business accounts, signaling that further financial pressure may soon follow. Observers say the implications extend far beyond Malema himself. The ruling could trigger deep divisions within the EFF, as members question whether their leader's legal woes threaten the party's credibility ahead of the 2026 general elections. Some insiders quietly admit that the movement may face internal fractures if Malema is unable to maintain his grip on both its finances and its fiery ideological message. Meanwhile, opposition parties have wasted no time in capitalizing on the scandal. The Democratic Alliance, DA, called the verdict a long overdue victory for accountability, while ANC officials, once Malema's comrades, were more cautious, describing the situation as a sad but necessary chapter in South Africa's political maturity. For ordinary South Africans, however, the feeling is one of disillusionment. Many who once saw Malema as a fearless crusader against inequality are now left wondering whether anyone in the political elite can truly be trusted. "They all promise change, but it's the same story every time," said one Johannesburg resident. "The rich get richer, even the so-called revolutionaries." As the legal dust settles and appeals loom, one thing is certain: Julius Malema's once unstoppable momentum has hit a wall. The verdict not only endangers his political career but also challenges the myth of untouchability surrounding him. Whether he rises again or fades into political infamy will depend on how he navigates this perilous chapter, one that could redefine his legacy forever.